Today we're going to learn how to make this new style of poster, and we're going to use a program called Pixlr. If you've if you've been on my channel, you've seen this before. There are some new things that we're going to mess around with, but if you haven't, or you're one of my students and this is a new assignment, you may not have used this program before. I'm going to show you how to use it. We're going to get to the basics. We're going to make a poster like this. This is a great program for manipulating images and text. It's very different from Sketchpad. Sketchpad's more about drawing. This is more about kind of arranging things. So I'm going to show you how we get started. First, I'm going to just go to Pixlr/E, pixlr.com/E. And there should be a link in the agenda, maybe even in this video we'll have a link. Okay, and that's going to take us to the advanced editor, and then we're going to say create new. So this is how you get started in Pixlr. And for this assignment, we were using Social Story, which is 1080 by 1920. You can put a custom size. It starts with 1920 by 1080, which is the dimensions of your kind of your screen. I'm going to go Social Story, and I'm going to say create. Okay, and it will make a poster. So the first thing we want to do when we're working with this is realize we have this thing called layers. Layers, we'll get into it more later, but for now, we're going to use the fill tool, which is a little paint bucket, and we're going to click on the screen. Now, when you first click, it's going to fill whatever color you have on the top here. So if I flip-flop these colors, now that the green is the color. Now, if I click on that green and I change it to white, which is what I'm going to use for this right now, it'll fill whatever color it touches with white. By the way, you have your history here. You can always undo back to something that you've done previously, or you can press Control Z. Okay, now on my screen, on the image I made, and I'm going to open up File. I'm going to see if I can actually, how do I do that? File, Open Image. See if I can open a previous one. No, that's for opening a picture I want. I'm going to show you how to do this. So we're going to go to Shapes. The shape tool is right here. It's like a little square with a circle. And we're going to get a line. And then the color of the line is right here. And the thickness of the line is right here. And I'm going to make it thicker. And I'm going to drag a line across. Now, right now, there we go. I have a black line. This color is not based on this. It's based on this right here. So I can actually change that color to whatever color I want while it's still selected. Once I'm done, I can move an object by clicking on the arrow tool to move things around. So that's to make a shape, okay? And then to add text, you click on the text tool, and you click on the screen, and you add your text. So for our assignment, we're doing what's the difference between personal information and private information. So I'm gonna just put my caps lock on here, make it all caps for this particular part. And I'm going to make it a thicker font. Now, if it has a little crown by it, that means you have to pay for it. So I'm just going to scroll down until I see a font that looks thicker. That's pretty thick. And then, okay, so now this font is white. See how it's white? So I'm going to change that to black. And I'm going to do that. I'm going to say personal. And then I'm going to copy this. Control C. I selected it. Control C as in cat, and then Control V as in Victor. And I'm going to move that. I'm going to double click on that. I'm going to retype private. That way I don't have to redo that. Okay, so it's already the right size. Now, how do we get images in here? Well, images are pretty easy. You just, there's a couple ways you can do it. You can right click on an image and say copy image, and then go back and press Control V. And it will paste the image in. You might have to move things around a little. I'm going to get the selection tool. And I also just did something there. I'm going to delete that. I don't know what that was. And so like maybe under personal, I'm going to put a band I like, which is U2. Okay. And then under private, maybe something like home address. Home address is something you should never share online. So let me see if I can put home address. Okay, so like maybe this little icon here. So I click. Now here's another way to add an image. You can click and hold and drag that image up to the tab and then let go of it. And then say add to current. And it will put that image in. So I'm going to put that under private. You shouldn't share your, home address. Okay, and then that's the basics of how to work with this program. It's pretty cool because, like, if you notice when I drag, you'll see these lines up here. That's centered. So if you want something perfectly centered, you drag it until it sort of like pops that line up, and then you know it's centered, which is kind of a cool feature. It's a really cool feature. And I like it. I like having things lined up. It'll lock into place. If you have other questions, feel free to post them. This is not a tutorial on how to get good at Pixlr, but and how to save. You go to File, Export, or Save, and then we're going to just select JPEG when we're done and Save As, and we'll name it. Hopefully it'll pop up in a window. Give it a second here, and I'm going to name it and put it in my downloads. I'm going to call it personal versus, I forgot to turn off caps lock, personal versus private. I'm not going to put any periods in my file name, and save. And then it's going to pop up in a window saying, hey, you want to try premium or something. I signed up for an account just using Google. You do not have to have an account to use this, but it does give you a limited number of saves, which is a little irritating, but I understand. They got to make their money somehow. So again, if you have questions, ask me. I'm going to stop the video now. Thanks for watching.